A quiet contradiction sits inside nearly every home. The place where we cook, clean, and feel safest behaves more like an unsupervised production line than a kitchen. And the numbers confirm the twist. A large share of foodborne illness doesn't begin in factories or restaurants. It starts exactly where people feel the most in control. The first clue appears the moment groceries cross the front door. Perishable foods often warm several degrees during the trip from store to home, sometimes rising above 8 degrees Celsius for long enough to let bacteria double in under an hour. That temperature drift is small, nearly invisible, yet it quietly breaks thresholds the industry treats as non-negotiable. Inside a factory, a rise of even 2 to 3 degrees Celsius triggers alarms, logs, and automatic holds. Inside a kitchen, it rarely triggers concern, and that difference becomes a mechanism that shapes risk long before anything reaches a plate. More signals appear near the sink. A cutting board rinsed but not sanitized. A sponge used for one task too many. A towel hanging for days. These look harmless, but each can spread microorganisms across surfaces in a pattern far more chaotic than most people imagine. Studies routinely show bacteria transferring in seconds, often in quantities high enough to matter. Yet none of it looks dangerous. It looks normal. Factories manage these patterns with measurable cycles, color-coded tools, sanitation intervals, ATP checks, and separation zones. Kitchens compress all of those zones into a single shared space. Raw chicken, fresh vegetables, leftovers, and ready-to-eat foods often move across the same countertop within minutes. It feels efficient. In reality, it collapses the barriers that prevent contamination from finding new paths. Time becomes another silent driver. Food sits cooling on counters while conversations continue, long after the heat that once protected it has dissipated. Bacteria begin multiplying once temperatures fall below 60 degrees Celsius, and by the 2-hour mark, or faster in warm rooms, populations can reach levels high enough to challenge even healthy immune systems. The industry uses strict cooling curves to control this drift, within 2 hours down to 21 degrees Celsius, and within another 4 to below 5 degrees Celsius. Home kitchens rarely follow any curve at all. They rely on intuition, a method proven unreliable when survival times for pathogens can stretch across days. The refrigerator, often treated as a safety net, adds more complexity. Many run a degree or two warmer than intended. Some cycle into unsafe zones during heavy door use. And the arrangement of items inside, raw proteins above ready-to-eat food, containers crowding air vents, leftovers in deep bowls that cool slowly, creates microenvironments where temperature varies enough to matter. A factory would map these zones with sensors. A kitchen relies on habit, which rarely matches the true thermal behavior happening on each shelf. Thawing introduces another mechanism. Leaving meat in the sink or on the counter allows surface temperatures to climb into the bacterial growth zone while the center remains frozen. That gradient, sometimes spanning 25 degrees Celsius from exterior to core, creates hours of opportunity for microorganisms to multiply long before cooking begins. In commercial processing, thawing schedules are calculated in minutes, not guesses. At home, they drift according to convenience. Even cleaning follows patterns that differ from perception. A quick swipe removes visible residue. But microscopic biofilms, thin layers of bacteria protected by a secretion matrix, can persist on boards, knife handles, and sink interiors. Some survive routine washing. Some resist mild detergents. Factories counter them with rotating chemicals and mechanical scrubbing. Kitchens rarely rotate anything. They repeat the same motions with the same tools, until those tools silently carry more microorganisms than the foods they touch. None of these behaviors come from carelessness. They come from trust. Trust that familiar spaces are safer than they are. And that trust makes risk harder to see. A factory expects hazards and designs systems around them. A home assumes safety and reacts only when something looks wrong. By the time it looks wrong, the biology behind it has often been active for hours. The deeper insight is simple. Your kitchen isn't failing because it's unclean. It's failing because it lacks the structure that makes food safe at scale. Temperature monitoring, separation logic, cooling controls, sanitation cycles, and verification. Without those systems, small oversights accumulate. A few degrees, a few minutes, a few transfers across a surface. Enough to bend the trajectory of a meal without changing the way it appears. And this raises a quiet question beneath the surface. If the safest food systems rely on discipline, measurement, and barriers, how close can a home kitchen get without becoming something it was never designed to be? The answer won't come from perfection. It will come from awareness, recognizing the moments when pathogens are most likely to move, multiply, or persist. Awareness that reshapes habits one threshold at a time, until a kitchen begins to behave less like a risk and more like a controlled environment in miniature. Because in the end, the weakest link isn't the space. It's the gap between what feels safe and what actually is.